Okay, here we are again. It's a Sunday afternoon. It's snowing in southeastern Pennsylvania. I got nothing better to do but sit around and think. So, my problem with hairsprings has always been every time I touch them, I ruin them. And I've realized the reason I'm not doing it right, I'm leaving the hairspring on the balance. So I came up with a way to remove the hairspring from the balance staff. And you can see on this one that the inner coils are pretty good, but the outer part where the index comes in and where it terminates, it's a little bit out of shape. And I've come up with a way to remove it fairly easily. I measured, let's turn this over. I took a measurement of this, the end here where the roller jewel is, and I want to make something that'll fit like that on there and allow access for that roller jewel. And what I came up with was a mechanical pencil cap that fit pretty nicely, and I notched it out with a file to accept that roller jewel, and then clamped it up into this is a case holder that just basically clamps shut, and I have that wound in there, those clamp on that plastic cap pretty tightly. So then what I do, the spring is on a collet, or a collar I guess you would call it, and that is pressed onto the staff. Let's get a tight shot of that. And you can see that gap in the middle between the balance, if I can focus, the balance and the collar. I want to get in there with a couple of screwdrivers and walk that off while this is being supported on that pencil cap. The tip, not the cap, this is the tip. That would be where the graphite would come through. Okay, I'm going to put this on, and it's almost an interference fit. Let me take it out of the shot here, because I got to get close to see it. Working around this microscope is pretty tough. So there it is, mounted in that little holder with the case holder. Well, I'm going to come back out this way with a side view, and you can see how it's relatively supported in there. And if I push on this top part, you can see it has a little bit of flex to it, but not too much, but it is supported. And you can see the balance, the jewel, the roller jewel has clearance. So I'm just going to leave that like this, and then let's get this nice and tight. And I'm going to come in with 2 screwdrivers and give that a twist the screwdrivers, and walk that off. Now when we put this back on, we're just going to leave it in here, and then possibly just press this back on with a pair of tweezers. The orientation on this is rather easy. This spoke is directly across from your roller jewel, and the balance collet, or the spring collet, has these lines machined into them, and they are 90 degrees to this. And if it's not exactly perpendicular, we can adjust that, because that will affect your beat error. We can adjust that because this is adjustable. This is from a Vostok 24XX, so they are adjustable. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm going to come in with 2 screwdrivers, and I'm basically going to take the screwdrivers. One's going to turn one way and one's going to turn the other way, like in that motion. So we're basically going to evenly walk this off. Can't imagine it being that tight of a fit because of the materials used, and you're not going to apply a whole lot of pressure getting this off or putting it back on. So let's give this a go and see what happens. I'm underneath the spring. Okay, and I'm going to turn one way and one the other way, the screwdrivers, that opposite direction, and you can see it walks that hairspring right off. Comes right off, almost like I knew what I was doing, almost. And here is that hairspring collet assembly, the side we just pulled off. And here is the other side. If I can pick this up. Let's try that again. Here is the other side. And that will just, when we go to press that back on, that just gets pressed right on onto that staff, and it bottoms out because it has a relief there that will maintain the depth and that gap for getting in there with our screwdrivers, pry bars, whatever you want to call them. So now that I have the hairspring off, I'm going to put it on a flat surface and get a known good hairspring to use as a template to visually match up this index coil, we're going to call it the outside coil, so that it will be usable once again. I don't know if that'll be successful, but at least we can use this to get it apart, and there's a lot to be said about that. So wait till next time.